Hey guys, this is Jeff Page with Heartland Customs with another one of our little informal walk around videos. This is a 1969 Yenko Camaro. We set up the Camaro spec program just like we did with our Corvette. So you basically choose 67, 68, or 69 Camaro, and then we go out and find you a donor car. If you've already got a donor car, then we can use that, of course. And we bring it in, strip the thing down to bare metal, and then build it up, completely modernized like this one you see here. This is a original 69 Camaro body that has every millimeter of this thing's been reworked, where it's got perfect panel gaps and bodywork and paint. And then everything's been modernized inside this car. So this has got a full Roadster Shop spec chassis. We had Don Hardy build us up a 427 LS7 to look like the original Yenko big block 427. So even under the hood, the thing looks period correct. And that's kind of the whole idea behind our spec programs here, whether you're building a spec Camaro or whether you're building a spec Vet. We even do spec trucks now, spec Chevelles. Whatever you do, the idea is we want everything to look like it did in its original birth year, but we want everything to function like 2021, but keep all that modernization hidden away. So gonna do a couple videos. We'll do one here of the exterior stuff, and I'll just kind of walk around informally and kind of point out some stuff on this deal. And then we'll do one of the interior that we kind of show what we do, everything on the interior of these cars. So this is on the Camaro program. We actually offer it in a base model and a Super Sport and a Z28, and then of course the big dog is the Yenko. We didn't want to just have it as a clone or a tribute type car, a copy. We actually wanted it to be kind of the real thing. So we actually reached out to GMCI that owns the Yenko brand and the licensing for the Yenko name. We had to show them the engineering drawings and the plans for these cars and all that, get it all approved by them. And then we actually got an official Yenko endorsed product licensing for this car. So for all of our Yenko cars. So you actually get a certificate of authenticity from Yenko, shows it's an official Yenko car, and there's a plate on the engine compartment that I'll show you that has the serial number of the car and the Yenko badge and all that too. So you're not just sticking stickers on a car and some badges on a car and calling it a Yenko. It's actually a certified endorsed Yenko product. So I'm going to kind of walk around here and kind of show you. I guess the first thing on this car that really jumps out at you is the bodywork and the paint. Like we said, every panel on these cars is gapped to 3/16 of an inch. It's all done in metal. We're not putting filler on the edges of panels and stuff like some shops do. It's all been, if the doors need to be a little wider, then we've added steel onto the edges, and then we've metal finished and filed all that stuff down, and then body worked it to perfection. So all those gaps you can see are really nice and tight, but they're not so tight that you're going to have issues with the steel expanding on the car and taking paint off when you open and close your doors. Same way with the trunk and the hood, all that's done the same way. And then many primes and blockings and everything until it's perfectly straight. This is actually car number one right here that's about to go home on Friday. And the very first one, we said we got to make it black because we want everybody to see what the bodywork and the paint looks like on these cars. And if you've done it right, you want it to be black. If you don't do it right, black's the last color you ever want to do a car because it's going to show every single little flaw. And so we wanted to make sure that car number one was black so everybody could see how nice all this stuff is. So PPG paint, we do the base coat, clear coat, Deltron system. This is basically just your 9700 black. It's as black can get. And then we've done all the Yenko stuff in an Arctic white color. Kind of moving around here to the side, you can see, I can zoom in here, big 14-inch 6-piston all the way around bare Pro 14 brakes. The Yenkos all get the 14-inch brakes. You've got 335 Nitto drag radial tires. you can see the meat you got on this thing. You got 600 horsepower, and almost 600 foot-pounds of torque. I think it's about 550 foot-pounds of torque. So you gotta have some rubber. If you got rubber, you gotta have big brakes. So we've got 18-inch wheels all the way around here. We did a wheel, we worked with a company to do a set of custom wheels to where it looked like the original Atlas mags that the Yenko cars had. It's got that magnesium finish to it. You can kind of see that here, kind of that bead blasted magnesium look to it. But they're an aluminum wheel now, and we've got 18 by 12s in the back, and we've got 18 by 8s in the front. And so it gives a really nice ride. It's got a lower profile look to it, which I think looks, really nice on the car, but you've got plenty of sidewall where it rides really nice. You don't have the little rubber band skinny sidewalls that are, every little pebble is gonna make the whole car shake. So it rides super, super nice. The Roadster Shop did a fantastic job on their spec chassis that we used in here. So on that spec chassis now, you've got a complete chassis underneath this car without any floor modifications. But when you get down here, you can see you don't have a bunch of chassis hanging out underneath the car, which is what you sometimes get when you do full chassis underneath these unibody cars. They've done a really nice packaging job of getting all that tucked up in there really nice and clean, but it gives you that full frame. You don't have the subframe and subframe connectors and then like a floor link in the back. It's a really nice setup. If I built one of these for myself, that's exactly the chassis that I would use. It literally went right on. We didn't have to do any floor modifications. This one has a T56 6-speed, so we had to enlarge the transmission tunnel a little bit. But that's the only modifications that we had to do to get everything packaged into this car. So big bare brakes, fantastic paint, everything's LED, your side marker lights down here. You've got your turn signal park lights down here, all amber LED. You've got turn signals hidden in the mirrors. Let's see if I can. So you've got those there, and I can kind of back it up here and show you. You've got sequential turn signals, and that's all LED in the back. I think you can see the mirrors here. Turn the hazards on there where you can check that out. I really like those. You turn off your blinker and they just go away. Like you can't even hardly tell that they're in the mirror at all unless you catch the light just right. So that's a really nice piece that we've done on this too. Again, you can see your panel gaps and everything here down the side. But the whole idea here is, you really want to keep everything as period correct as possible. I mean, you've got a lot nicer bodywork and paint than you would have had originally. You've got the stainless steel and all that is polished out 1,000 times nicer than it was originally in '69. Everything's new in these cars, every nut and bolt, every screw. You pull a door panel off, you're not gonna find any wood door panels back there. Everything's composite or aluminum. Everything inside the doors is new. Every regulator, every screw, every bolt, every clip, every fastener. There's not old rusty stuff behind panels. You're not gonna find, old wiring. Like literally everything in this car is brand new except for the original body, which has been completely reworked. And then as far as electronics and all that, I'll go over more of that when we do the interior video, but you've got the photo cell on the dash, so your headlights kick on at night automatically and off. You can adjust the daylight level at which those come on and off. You really have just pretty much everything 2021. But when you walk by this car, other than seeing that the paint and all that is super, super nice, even when you look inside here, the whole idea is that everything still looks like 1969, even though that's all Italian leather. You see like on the door panels and things, you don't have all the screws and stuff showing now because all that stuff there has been made from scratch by Sculpt Garage, who does our interiors, to look just like the original stuff, but everything fits super nice and everything's done with hidden fasteners, so you don't have all those screws and stuff showing. You can even see up here, it's got a fully suede headliner. This again this is not simulated suede. This is actually Moore & Giles Nova suede. This is the real deal, no synthetic stuff. And so we've done a whole nice one-piece type headliner up in here, and even the A-pillars and the visors and all that are wrapped in the same suede to match. So a lot nicer, cleaner look than the old bows that were up there, you know, with the canvas hanging off everything. So gives you a little bit more headroom too than you had originally, and you don't get that cloth hanging down and stuff like that. So we'll get to more of that on the interior video, but that's about all I got on this. You can always call or email us, and you know, we'll be happy to answer any questions. All these cars are done at a set price. There is no time and materials. When you come to Heartland Customs, you have a set price day one. You know exactly what the car is going to cost. It doesn't matter if it takes us 2,000 or 4,000 or 10,000 hours to get the car up to our standards. You're going to pay the same price. So that way you get to enjoy watching the car being built and not worrying about, you know, when your bank account's going to quit bleeding, you know, which is unfortunately kind of something that this industry has, you know, it's been known for, and it should be. It's a custom deal up until kind of the way that we do things, and there's really no way to getting around that by being able to do these spec cars like we do, to where everything is kind of spec'd out. And you can do custom options, and we can put dollar amounts on those too. But kind of doing it, I don't want to say cookie cutter because that makes it sound cheap, but kind of doing the same stuff over and over and over, and we've worked out those options on previous cars and things like that. It allows us to do a really top tier, high-end custom build, but be able to put a price tag on it rather than just telling you, well, I think it's going to be X amount, and you know, fingers crossed, we'll see where we're at when we're done. Because if I was a customer, that's not really what I want to get myself into. So I think this is a good program for some people. If you're interested, then you can go on our website, which is www.heartlandcustoms.us. Feel free to call. You can ask for me, Jeff Page. I'm the owner. I'll be happy to sit down and talk with you and answer any questions that you got. Check out our other videos while you're on YouTube, and be sure to look for the interior video on this one, where I just kind of walk you around the interior real quick and let us know if we can do something for you. Thanks.